Hello, Masonic Heights families. My name is Miss Owens, and I'm the special education teacher and literacy coach at the school. I wanted to start off March's Reading Month by sharing a video on 3 things I'd like for you to remember when you're reading aloud at home to your child. Remember, it's never too early or too late to start reading to your child. Whether you're reading baby board books or Harry Potter chapter books with them, you can share this experience and make it bonding and enjoyable. It could even be part of your bedtime routine. Because ultimately, you are your child's first teacher, and you're modeling for them fluency, as well as a love for reading and a love of learning. So, the 3 things I'd like for you to remember is number 1, build interest. Before you even read the book, it's good to pique your child's curiosity and get them engaged into the story. You can do this by looking at the cover, the title, and the pictures. Talk about what catches your eye, what you think the story might be about, how it might relate to your child's life, or things that are going on in the world. As you read, you can build interest by changing your expression, using different intonation if a different character is talking. Make it fun and get creative. The second thing I'd like for you to remember is to ask questions. So as you read, ask your child questions. How do you think the character is feeling right now? Before you turn the page, what do you predict is going to happen next? Has something like this ever happened to you or someone you know? And the third thing I'd like for you to remember is to talk about new words. So if you come across a big vocabulary word, a new word, a challenging word, stop and discuss it with your child. Ask them if they know what that word means. Look at the pictures in the text to give you clues for what the definition is. These 3 things are great reminders to help you read aloud to your child and make it educational and to help them build knowledge. Now I'm going to show you some examples of how you can build interest, ask questions, and talk about new words as you do a read aloud with your child. Hello, families. This is the read aloud story I'll be sharing today. It's called Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. And I'm going to show you some of the examples of the things I discussed in part 1 of the video. I actually put post-it notes to show me where I'm going to try to engage the children, where I'm going to discuss a vocabulary term, and where I'm going to ask questions. So the first thing I would have the students do is read the title and look at the cover. Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. I'd ask them what they see, if they think this is the character Molly Lou. And I would try to relate it to their family or friends and ask them what they think this might be about. Do they know anybody tall? Do they know anybody short? I would also go through and look at the pictures with the students and ask them what they think is happening. Here's Molly Lou balancing on a banister. Here she is looking in the mirror. What is she looking at in the mirror? What is she examining? Looks like her teeth. Here's a close-up of her face. What do you notice on that page? And I go through each picture and try to engage their interest and their curiosity and what the text is going to be about. Now it's time to read and enjoy the story together. Molly Lou Mellon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the 1st grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Walk as proudly as you can, and the world will look up to you." And I might stop and talk to the children and ask them, what does it mean to walk proudly? What does that mean to be proud? So she did. I might even ask them if their grandmothers have ever given them advice. Molly Lou Mellon had buck teeth that stuck out so far. She could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Smile big, and the world will smile right alongside you." Now, I could do a grandmother voice at this part if I'd like to. Smile big, and the world will smile right alongside you. I could change my voice to make it a little bit more fun and creative. So she did. Molly Lou Mellon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy." So I talked about a vocabulary word on this page I thought maybe the students might not know about, which is boa constrictor. And I might stop and ask, do you know what a boa constrictor is? Have you ever seen one? And then we can get into a little bit of a discussion about that. So she did. Molly Lou Mellon was often fumble-fingered. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Believe in yourself, and the world will believe in you too." So now this might be a place to really engage their interest because the pictures, the illustrations are kind of fun and interesting, and there's a lot to talk about just by looking at the pictures. This is a good place to engage and ask them, what's going on in the story? I might ask them, what does it mean to believe in yourself? That would be a good question to ask at that point. So she did. Then Molly Lou Mellon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends. And I might say, "Oh, Johnny, you were right. You thought she was going to move in the beginning. We looked at the pictures. You're right." And tell them that they made that prediction and they were correct about it. And start in a new school. I might ask the child right now, what do you think Molly Lou and the dog are feeling when they're staring up into that bus, going to a new school? How do you think the character is feeling? Scared, apprehensive, unsure, nervous? On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Mellon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, "Wow, she's good." And Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. I might ask the children what the word foolish means. I put a vocabulary sticker here to remind me because they use the word foolish on the next 3 pages. I might say, what do you think the word foolish means? What does it mean to be foolish? On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky Tooth Beaver. Molly Lou Mellon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. I'll make sure I pause and take time to look at the pictures, look at the illustrations, discuss what's going on. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, "You sound like a sick duck. Honk, honk." Molly Lou Mellon sang out a quack, so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Let me talk to them about how Molly Lou responds to Ronald Durkin not being very kind to her. How does she respond? On the fourth day of school, Ronald Durkin said that she'd made the snowflake all wrong. But Molly Lou Mellon opened up her paper and revealed the most beautiful snowflake of all. All the children oohed and ahed, even Ronald. On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin brought Molly Lou Mellon a stacking penny for her tooth and smiled at her. So I would ask a question here, and I'd ask, why do you think Ronald did that? Why do you think he did that for Molly Lou? That night, Molly Lou Mellon took out a pencil and paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. "Dear Grandma, I wanted to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Mellon." Look at the grandma. She's tinier than Molly, isn't she? With that big cat. And then as we end the story, I might ask the children, what was your favorite part? Did you like the story? Why or why not? Has anything like that ever happened to you or someone you know? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that book. It's a fun book and talks about when people are being unkind or different types of behaviors that children might have to deal with in their life. So it's something they can relate to. I hope you found this helpful and have a great March's Reading Month.